might be a situation that your child is, they're drowning in. But again, we have to be there for them. We cannot control what they do. We can only give them advice, and give them advice if they invite us into the situation. You may see what is going on. That gives you no right to butt in. Now, you can be concerned and, kind of like ask, is everything okay? Are you okay? Is your husband okay? Or your wife, is she okay? Or, these are things that you can ask. And if they allow you to come in, like if they tell you, what is going on, and sometimes they may not tell you the whole truth, and that's okay, because at least they are letting you in, and now you have a little information that you can perhaps give them some advice on. I mean, we mothers, we're not crazy. We know that it's probably more to the story than what they are sharing. But to say the least, just be there. Be there for your child. That means the world to them. And, and be fair. That's the other thing. Be fair. Don't just, support your child. They might be wrong, and you need to point out to them if they are wrong in that relationship or whatever the matter is. You have to point out their error and perhaps advise them to apologize and go back and do things differently. And then the spouse may be wrong, but again, they are together. So it gives you no right to say, oh, leave them. And it's probably a situation where they should leave. And let me just say this. At some point, if it keeps happening over and over and over again, well, you can ask and say, well, do you think that it would be better if you left? And don't say that if you're not offering them a place to live, or an exit out of whatever it is that they're in, that is probably affecting their whole life in a negative way. But again, ask, and be prepared to take action. Okay? How many of us have been in a situation where we had really needed help, but there was no help for us, and we had confided into someone, and that person, they gave us all the advice in the world, but they had no no real way of helping. Like, they they can tell you, well, if I was you, I would probably save, X amount of money per week and put it away. And here you are, it's like, I don't have a job. How am I going to do this? So when I'm saying, take action, offer them a real solution, something that, that you can probably do to help them as, your child. We don't want to see our children suffer as parents. We want to see them, succeed in life. And, by butting in areas that we probably shouldn't enter in, it may cause a wedge in that mother and child relationship. And, that's what we don't want to do. So if the situation is really serious and your child confides in you, well, yes, you can ask that question. Do you think it would be better if, you leave, or if you leave for a little while, or, yes, you can definitely ask that question. on other situations that may not be so bad, and because you don't like their, you know, their husband, or, you know, their fiance, or whatever it may be, and, you know, and you're like, oh, just leave, you know, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. Again, you have to listen to them. Listening is so important. You have to listen. So listen, and, you know, and sometimes they don't even want any advice. Sometimes they just need someone to listen. So you have to know the difference. So you know your child, or you should know your child. And so you would have to know the difference as to if this is something that you want to give, you know, advice in, or perhaps you don't want to advise right away. You want to give them time, and, you know, maybe they're like so emotional. And then, you know, when you see your child you know, being emotional, it tends to have you emotional. So perhaps it's a situation where you just need to take a little time, and, you know, and really get your feelings under control so that you can go back and give good advice.